And we are live here to talk about a Million on Mars. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man.
Awesome. So how did this project start?
So the Million on Mars team has been in development on a Steam game for the better part of about a year, and their big focus has been building this really awesome crafting MMO experience that's highly simulation based, built around using real scientific information, using real world physics data, and providing a really awesome, meaningful experience. And while they've been building this game for, like I said, for almost a year now, they saw the emergence of play to earn and NFTs and everything else that's been growing inside of the space, and really wanted to figure out a way to expand and extend the experiences that we're building to this new emerging opportunity and this new emerging space within blockchain. And so instead of risking what could be a challenge on Steam with their uncertain policies about play to earn, without knowing where they stand on NFTs and crypto, we felt that the biggest opportunity was to build and extend that in a new opportunity, which is where we're building Land Rush from. So we saw a unique opportunity to build something on Wax, which is a really approachable, easy to get into ecosystem, which you can create a wallet in just a couple of clicks, and to create a game that is accessible for a wide market of players on as many devices as possible. So we want to build a browser-based game that you can play on your phone, on your computer, and that you can play in a wide number of languages once we're fully live and localized. Because we care a lot about building a really great game experience first that can be reached by as many people as possible.
That's awesome. I think that's cool. Like the multiple languages. I'm trying to think of another blockchain game that has that. I can't.
Yeah, localization is just a normal thing for us. I mean, so our team is comprised of all professional game developers that have been in the industry for many years. Myself, I'm been in the industry for almost 13, 14 years now. As a professional designer, our CTO, Eric, has been in the industry for over 25 years. So that's what we're really setting out to just build, is to take what we're really setting out to do is to take our experience in building games the way we're already used to building them, and actually bringing them into this new space, and providing a high quality game first experience before we're really trying to sell a bunch of things or print a bunch of tokens or anything else out of the gate.
That's awesome. I think that's something that the space needs more and more of, is game first development.
I agree.
So here, I'm gonna pull up the site just so we can show everybody what we're talking about. And I'm gonna put the link in the chat for anybody who wants to look at it as well. Where would you say we should start?
Well, if you want to look at our Steam game, that's at the sort of the top half of the website. That links to the actual Steam page. You can get the game right now. It's in early access, and the game is completely live. It's online. It's a real live MMO game. There's real people in there building as well. I would highly recommend jumping into our Discord as well and coming to chat with everyone else that plays the game. They're really active. All of the developers on the team are also in our Discord, talking with everyone, making implementing features and feedback that come from our players as we're building out this game.
Awesome. Sorry, I'm just getting the Discord link now as well.
Sure. You can just go to milliononmars.com/discord. That's the easiest way to get right in. Nice and easy to remember. But yeah, so this takes place on the exact same Mars that our browser-based play-to-earn blockchain game Land Rush also is on. They'll take place in sort of separate regions on the planet itself, but the idea behind this is that we have the entire planet itself cut up into 40-acre hexes. And so if you play the game on Steam, you have your own plots that you get there. If you buy a land pack inside of Land Rush, you get a separate separate plot of land, but it's all the same. It's all on the same planet. And we're going to be building out a really sort of we expect to build out an experience that continues to grow over time and support the needs of all of our players.
Here, do you mind if I show any of the beta on stream?
Of course, yeah, you can show anything you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are the different land plots you're talking about. So that got me curious. Which ones of these are the Steam game?
So if you scroll more towards the bottom and then move it over more on the left, yeah, it's more on the bottom hemisphere, and you might want to rotate the planet around like a. We want to
Oh,
pull it
I
up
am
a little
so
more. That's
lost.
you're on basically the South Pole right now, so you want to like pull it back up and then rotate it around, yeah, and then just move it around. There you go. So that there are two regions there. There's 18 and 17. Uh, these two specific regions are where the Steam game and the blockchain game will largely take place. So I believe the one on the left is where the Steam game will actually happen. Right now on LandRush, we're just allowing players to build in almost any spot they want within these regions. We're just sort of we're in test mode right now. But this main open canyon here is Valles Marineris. I can't ever say the name right, but it's basically the Grand Canyon on Mars.
So they might
And
be like next to each other. Like maybe one of them is.
they will be in nearby regions. You could there won't be much to see in the Steam game if you go over to that area right now at launch, but it's certainly something we would love to be able to support in the future, is to have your, to have a visual representation in both games for sure.
Yeah,
But we
cool.
certainly want to connect the experiences of these games as well, so that you really do feel like they're part of the same world. So there'll be a overarching narrative. There'll be a timeline that has already started and starting to advance that will change the world over time. They'll have different things that impact both of the games at the same time as well.
Cool. Yeah, so we'll go in here. So it does show my land. To be honest, I don't think I was fully understanding the building when I've been trying to play, or the mining. Have there been? I'm guessing since it's a beta, probably not, but like odds released on what you can pull and like how likely it is to actually pull the token.
Yeah. So right now, the game itself is just complete. Most of the inside parts of the game are all virtualized. So there's no actual NFTs that are being used in the game. They'll all be sort of connected at launch when the game goes live. But the way that the game is designed is players will be able to earn a daily amount of dusk by participating within the game economy, by spending all of their stamina each day. And it's sort of just like a daily drip that you earn. You can do scavenging, you can do farming, you can do water filtering, and various other things. And when the game is live, you'll also be able to perform work orders that are created by other landowners inside of the game. So if you don't own land, you'll be able to actually work within the game economy and earn the in-game token dusk right away just by spending your stamina every day.
Okay, awesome. And does your stamina come back every day, or do I have to eat to bring my stamina back?
You do have to eat in order to earn it back. And so the intent here is that all the players have to be working towards creating the necessary needs of everyone else that's playing. And so if you don't have land, then you're going to need to likely buy food and water, or you'll get a small amount to start with as a new player to sort of get you going. But the intent is that you need to sort of work, and you need to also spend to keep your needs in place. But there will be opportunities for players to earn food and water for free as we're playing the game, or as the game advances, so that they won't be sort of stuck ever.
How do I eat them?
If you go right now, it's in a really weird place. You have to go into your profile. And there's an eat button in there, and I know it feels really weird that it's there. And then you'll get your stamina refilled. It also produces waste, and waste is used for making soil.
Oh wait, no, that's the wrong one. Oh, so you fertilized your soil basically with your own waste.
Yes, which is like really, I know it sounds really gross, but this is literally how it's done, or will be done in the future for everyone that lives on Mars. Like, we're definitely not trying to reinvent the wheel here. We build a real sort of experience that is trying to match the way that survival and life on Mars will actually be done. I would say LandRush, we take it a little less seriously than our flagship Steam game does. The Steam game is certainly built a lot more on the realism aspect. We're a lot more on the game side of things. We want it to be a lot more fun and lightweight and approachable.
I would assume, but maybe I'm wrong. Have you seen The Martian?
Of course.
Movie?
The movie with Matt Damon.
You just mentioned that's actually what they do.
Yes, exactly. I remember when we were working with our art team on building out all the art for our NFTs, and I'm explaining about how they were asking like, how do we draw, or what are we supposed to do for waste? And I'm just like, you can just make it a container and you can put a poop emoji on it or something. That's perfectly okay. And they really were trying to not do this, and I had to be very clear. I'm like, I know that this is weird, but this is the real way that it's going to be done. Like we're going to treat it with a little bit of brevity. It's fine. We can laugh at some of these things. Like everything when it comes to space and science, there's a little bit of humor in certain things. Like everyone laughs at the Blue Origin rockets that look a little bit phallic. Our CAD, our distiller, which is used for dehydrating elements and making soil, it certainly looks phallic as well. And we get people leaving, eggplant emojis on our pictures when we post. It's fine. It's just gonna come with the territory.
Oh, so I need to definitely learn more about this game. Now I know what the power cells do. So I have to recharge my distiller.
Everything in the game has a purpose. So there's one thing that's really unique to our game, I feel, is there's a whole player-driven economy from the get-go, meaning that players are responsible for making and creating everything that's used inside of the game, except for Dusk that's sort of dripped out to them. But all of the buildings, all of the things that they produce, everything you earn when you're scavenging immediately has a purpose and a use. And once our in-game marketplace is online, where you can actually buy and sell those resources among players, you'll really see that there's a need for virtually everything. So I have friends that are playing the game, and one of them was complaining, I did a whole bunch of scavenging and all I have is a whole bunch of this excess waste, and what I really need is ice. And I hear two of my other friends saying, how can I give you ice? I have tons of ice from all of my scavenging, but I have no waste and I can't fertilize any of my crops. So these are the sort of scenarios I imagine are going to be happening as players are progressing through the game. They're going to have an abundance of certain things, or have other things they're going to need, and they're going to be buying and selling items on the marketplace inside of the game to fulfill their needs and to help them sort of fuel their goals of growing in the game and building or developing their property and increasing their sort of Martian empire.
Wow, I was just about to ask if I could plant 2 on 1, and I can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, the buildings themselves will have a set number of slots for how much you can craft inside of them, depending on the rarity. So if you have a higher rarity building, it will hold a lot more. We'll have an update in later on today that will show specifically the number of available crafting slots in a specific building.
Oh, I could have sworn I had an uncommon greenhouse. I was going to try to check, but no.
You can always try to open. You just open and pack and try to get for another one. You can buy fake packs in the shop right now.
So,
mm-hmm.
So you're talking about the blueprint packs, right?
Yep.
Okay. I got to save up a little more. I'm at.
Oh, here. If you just if you message me your, or actually, I know where you are. Let me give you a bunch real quick. I can just fix that really quickly. One of the joys of being virtual right now is that I can actually help people. I won't be able to just mint you a bunch of Dusk once we're live.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yes.
But it would not work. The collection name is On Mars on Atomic Hub.
We're hoping to be whitelisted very, very shortly. We also have an active sale on Nifty Blocks as well. We're one of the, you should see us right at the top collections on Nifty Blocks.
Is it .io/Discord or .com/Discord?
It's .com/Discord for that one.
Put this up on the banner. These people have more questions afterward.
There you go. You should be able to buy a bunch now. If you look, you've got a lot more Dusk.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Thank you.
No problem. Have fun. Open up a whole bunch. It should be fun. See what you get.
Let's see. What is the difference between the 2 packs?
Right now, I just set them up so that you could sort of have your own choice. Basically, the way it's designed is you'd either get You'd be guaranteed to have one of each of the different types of buildings, and then one of the buildings at random, or you could have the possibility of having 5 of the exact same building type. Sort of the idea is to give you the choice of how you'd want to open it. So then that way you get more variety.
Oh, wow. An epic hat. Does it go up to mythic, or is it legendary and then that's it?
So for blueprints and buildings, they do go up to mythic. For land, it only goes up to legendary. We wanted to be mindful of the power creep in the game, and we didn't really want to let land reach a point where the most powerful land just dwarfs the value and the opportunity of players that are only able to get a common.
Where does it show like the rarity of my land?
If you look at your actual plots, the amount of space sort of will actually infer the rarity. It doesn't currently show it on the game, but it will in a couple of weeks. I would expect it's already going to probably reflect it. So the amount of space, basically, if you divide by 50, will give you the idea of the rarity. So common land has 50, uncommon is 100, a rare is 150, all the way to 250 for legendary.
And so if I got them from the founder pass, do I know if
is that the stuff you're going to get on launch day? Unfortunately not. Everything right now is basically just for fun draws. We do use the same rarity chances now as what we will be when we're live. So this is what it should feel like when you are opening real packs. This is with the exception of people that maybe opened our land on the beginning first few days. We had a bit of an even distribution of rarities at the very beginning. So there's a lot of people with legendary lands that may not have that at the launch, but right now, everything that is opening in the game is the exact same type of rarities that we're expecting to have at launch.
Trying to find my other lands where I was going to ask. So, not if it's going to be the same at launch, but if. Okay, so that answers my question. They're not. I was thinking mine were all like defaulted common from that. But no.
Yeah, and then buildings will also be a little bit different in size, the amount of space they take up, also depending on rarity. So that more rare buildings do take up more space, but it's balanced by the amount of extra crafting slots that they have available. So it's all sort of meant to be a nice sort of trade-off.
Will it matter like where I'm placing, like when I go to claim a plot, or is it just like the ticket I get to claim a plot will have a rarity?
It won't have. So the rarity is revealed when you claim it. So there is no predetermination in any place, and you don't. And where you pick your land, they aren't already predetermined in their rarity either. So there's any given chance at any time of picking a land, you have the same amount of chance of getting a rarity as anyone like on day one is, a year from now. And that's something that we want to always be the case. There's no limitations on how many could be drawn. If RNG truly just goes, like there could be 100 like legendary next to each other, it's entirely possible.
That'd be crazy.
Very unlikely. But what I was going to say, to the question of how much does your location matter, I would say it doesn't matter a ton. So we aren't going to do things like this area has a higher percentage of iron, this percentage has a higher percentage of aluminum or other elements. We want it to be really about picking a place that's cool, or it's next to people you maybe know, or if you want to have a bunch in the same area that you own and we draw a bounding box around all the ones that are connected to the same owner. We want to make that experience feel really fun. We do plan in the near future to enable players to be able to scavenge on land plots specifically, not just sort of a general scavenging system. And when we do that, there will be some strategy there in the sense that you'll have to figure out like how many scavenging actions are available on a plot, and it will reset every day. So that if you're the player that's trying to do a lot of scavenging, the game's a little bit different in the sense that you're going to be looking for where the best opportunities are to scavenge and get the best amount of resources shared with you from the landowners.
So yeah, that was another question that I had when I was playing it earlier. So it's based on the production of the land that I mine on, right? Like if I mined on just a random land, that would be a different outcome than if I like went through here and picked who had built up the best.
To some extent, yes, that might be the case. what's much more likely is each of the plots in the game will have a set number of scavenging actions each day that can be done on them, and then the players, the landowners themselves will be able to sort of determine how much of those resources they're going to share with the actual players that are doing the scavenging. And so it's you're going to have to sort of be competing to make your land sort of attractive, I guess, in a way. Like if you have a high rarity land, it'll probably have a lot more actions that can be done each day, and then you might have a reason to, it's really just going to. I think the players and the market are going to sort of figure its own self out. I have no idea really to know what they're going to determine, but I think it's going to be a really, really fun experience.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty fun in the beta. Yeah,
definitely. And I don't even think the game right now it feels like a really fun single player experience where you're basically just doing stuff alone, but you can kind of see people near you also doing stuff. Like it feels like a live game that you're playing by yourself. And
yeah,
what we're really close to having in the next few weeks as we finish our roadmap all the way up to launch is what will really feel like a live experience that's really multiplayer. So you'll be able to create these resources in the game. You'll be able to buy them, the ones that you need, sell the ones that you have extras for to other players. And you'll also be able to hire other players to do work. So when you're running out of stamina every day, waiting for your food to be able to be eaten again in a few more hours, instead you can queue up a bunch of work that can be done on your land and have another player do it for you, and you pay them a bit of dusk for the efforts, and you get the result of the things that they're helping you build. And to me, that's where things are really going to become super, super exciting, where players are, wielding an economic power and really driving this actual living economy that's driven by the work of all these players.
That's cool. I'm trying to think of like, it's gonna, I feel like, make some pretty like centralized lands that'll be cool. Like everybody grouping up to sort of like build something up together. Cause yeah, like you could all just mine on the same property and then use that dust to even more people mining there.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely. And when when things move even further, like players will be able to also like rent out the buildings that they have on their land. They can sort of turn them into service stations, and other players will be able to craft the items that they need and build up their own skills independently. So it won't
so
even
like
just
somebody could come to like my greenhouse if I built it up and plant their own seeds.
correct. Yeah. So you could say like, my common greenhouse has 5 crafting slots for things that I can plant. I can make 3 of those available for 5 dusk an hour or something like that, if for someone that wants to grow food in my greenhouse, and then I'm going to keep the other ones for myself and just use them or hire people on my own. So players will get the flexibility to sort of leverage these buildings however they want.
It's cool. I feel like there's more here than I could discover in a single day trying to go through this.
Yeah, this is only the beginning. We have so much more planned and for how we want to really build this virtual economy in the game.
What are you most excited for in the game?
I'm definitely most excited for when the game goes live and we really start to build out our community internationally and globally. I think that this game, the whole premise of what I want to do with this game is to reach a really, really global, broad audience where everyone can get in, they can have an opportunity to play and have fun and earn and progress and just sort of contribute to this thriving virtual economy. There's a lot of incentives and things that are built into this game that are designed to really create a spirit of what I call like cooperative success or cooperative achievement, where everyone is able to. The only way you really win is by working together with everybody else, and the incentives in the play to earn economy, in the way that everything is structured inside of the game economy, is designed specifically to reinforce that.
That's awesome. Trying to think of like what else I could ask about it, but I feel like I don't understand it well enough to even know which questions to ask it.
I mean, we can walk through your buildings and I can talk to some of the things that you're able to do, right? So you have a CAD here. So the
Yes.
CAD stands for, it's a cryogenic atmospheric distiller, which is a fancy term for a space dehydrator. And what you're able to do with that is you take the regolith or the dirt from Mars and you mix that with your soil, and you're able to basically convert that or sorry, you mix that with your waste and you're able to convert that into soil. And so Your CAD is your primary way of creating soil, which is what you need for actually starting your farming in your game. So in your greenhouse, that's where you're able to plant seeds and you're able to grow food. And in order to grow your food, you need to have seeds and water and soil and power. And so you can go into your greenhouse.
So it
And
already
you
came
can,
with, I guess,
but
soil,
you
right?
should, yeah. So we front load you with some things, and there'll be different ways to earn some of the main resources in the game as well. But if you try to plant something, I think you have a common, which might have room for 3. I think.
Yeah, I think I need
So
to.
you might just need power or something else. I think it says.
I
Oh,
needed more
what does it say?
power and water.
Oh yeah,
And then what is plant sprouts test versus plant?
that's the you can ignore that one. That's something we're testing internally. Everything else should work. So all of your buildings have to be powered in order to work, and power comes from your solar panels in the game as well. So there you
Oh,
go.
I was thinking just
So if
the
you
power.
plant a solar panel, yeah, if you install a solar panel, you can then use that one or any of the other ones. Oh, there you go. There's your rare greenhouse.
So if I want to put another one here, should I get rid of the common one?
I would just keep it. I would not make. I would not destroy something until unless you absolutely ran out of space and you really wanted to. When you destroy it, you don't get it back, and losing like the value there could be significant if you were to get rid of it. But if you go into your solar panels there that you have installed in the bottom right,
Yeah, or
oh,
that's
there you
bottom
go.
left.
You'll see that you can start charging your leftover power cells that you've used for all of your other buildings. So once you use your power cells to charge all of your buildings, your power cells are empty, and so then you use your actual solar panels to charge them right back up. So then you can use them again for the next day. So everything in this game is renewable and reusable if it's not consumed. And your rare ones should hold a
So
good
yeah,
amount of them.
it really is like Mars. You gotta.
Oh yeah, you got to do
Yeah.
everything. There is no easy meal ticket in this game. You got to work hard, and as you see, like every single one of these actions you're doing is taking away your stamina. Like you probably don't have a lot left now because you've
Oh,
done a
I
bunch
did
of
not even
planting.
realize that.
Yeah, and so that's where the pinch starts to come. Is like even as a landowner, you'll see like you got several buildings here. There's so much more that you have to do than you have the resources for. You don't have enough stamina to get all the work done, and so that's where the player-driven economy comes from. You're going to have to create work orders instead, and say, "I'll give a dusk or two for someone else to come do the farming for me, to come charge the power cells for me. You'll use my resources. I'll pay you, and then I get the product when it's done."
That's gonna be really cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no way with like 15 stamina. I don't even have that
Exactly.
much, I feel like, on that land, and I feel like I
Yep.
couldn't even get through half the buildings that are on there. Or like if I wanted to fully use a building, I could barely get through one building.
Yep. That's exactly what we want. And it is sort of, and so some people may infer this as like, well, if I've got a lot of money or a lot of resources and I'm trying to whale into this game and buy a whole lot of land, like that would have it's sort of like it feels punishing basically that I'm not getting all this stuff for free, or that there's like all this work I have to do, which to the response to that, I usually just tell people, yeah, that's entirely the point. Like this is a game in which the player economy is expected to work. That's how it makes value in this game. It's why dusk will matter in this game, because it's, yes, you'll be able to earn dusk playing the game, but you also need it for a lot of things. You got to pay people, you got to buy things, you got to, if you're doing things in the game, there'll be specific like fees or the costs that are used as well. So when we have after launch, we'll have an upgrade system. So you can have, if you have extra blueprints, you can spend those to upgrade a building to a second level, and it'll produce things faster and more efficiently. And that'll also cost a little bit of dusk as well to upgrade it. If you've played a Supercell game on your phone like Clash Royale or Clash of Clans, this idea of like burning your extra cards and upgrading, like this comes from my professional background in building free-to-play mobile games. Like I want to give you a reason for your extra blueprints to matter. You don't just have to have 10 separate common greenhouses on a single piece of land. You could take that one greenhouse, and if you'd rather have it be much more efficient and use up less space, you could use your blueprints more effectively.
So like if I had 10 greenhouses on here already that were all common, would I, with the ones that are already placed down, be able to do that?
It's a good question. I haven't thought about that. I'm not entirely opposed to the idea. It's the same value.
Because maybe that's like a way that you then like to clear this like common greenhouse out of here, if I start getting this property really big, maybe I have to get 3 more commons in here to turn that into an uncommon and then have more space.
I think that's a really great idea, and it actually makes the. I actually think that's a really cool idea. I will probably add this to our documentation and include this in some of our planning, because it's it's I would much rather be accommodating than punishing, and to me, like, the alternative is that people would be punished basically for putting down all of their things early on and then not having the ability to upgrade them later. We would basically be just like hurting them. And I have almost it would have to be one way. You'd still only be able to do it once. You wouldn't be able to take a level 2 and go back down to having 5 level 1s or anything like that. But I think just to have the option, excuse me, would be a really great idea. I like that.
It'd be cool that way. Like I don't get anything trapped in there, or
Yeah,
yeah,
for
because
sure.
there's no way I'm burning it if I paid the common one that's there.
Yep. Yep. It should be noted. One of the things that we have to take into account when we have a game that's driven by NFTs is what happens when certain things move wallets, and what happens when players sell things or buy things from each other. So land in the game will be an NFT that is in your wallet, and the buildings that you have in the game, once you install, so when you open a pack in the game with blueprints, those blueprints will initially be NFTs. You'll see them in your wallet all the same. You can buy and sell them on Atomic or any other marketplace. But once you put that building on your land, you burn that card, and that land is permanently fixated with that building that has been installed on it. And then we do update the mutable data on the NFT. So it's, pardon me?
Will it wipe the land when I sell it?
No. So we won't wipe the land when you sell it, but if your buildings have anything in production, it all gets cleared out. So basically anything that is actively in production in your buildings will all be cleared out. The power and basically your buildings just get set to 0, because we have to create a sort of balanced situation. Because if we allow players to load up all of their buildings with all these resources and all this work and everything inside of it, and then move it to another wallet, they start to be able to. It has challenging impacts on the economy, and it allows for like weird types of collusion and bad behavior that we're really trying to stop. So we want to. That's
It seems
sort of our balancing mechanism.
it like encourages, like if I wanted to sell this land, I'd want to work through all of these properties to get everything I could have that I put
Yep.
into it out before I sell it.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so I feel like it kind of encourages, like, I guess I'd say smart gameplay of like
Yeah.
getting all of your utility out before selling it.
Yeah. Our goal isn't to really be punishing. It's really to just keep things fair and balanced for everybody else. That's really the intent behind virtually every decision we make, is for the sake of making it, adequately balanced. You can buy a power pack. You can, if you're low on power for your buildings.
I was about to ask
And
if I
that,
buy water.
yeah,
Oh, so this is okay.
yeah, we have, those are sort of a temporary fix for not being able to buy things on a market. We basically just make fake item packs of things that you're going to need and you would normally be buying somewhere else anyway.
And there's chances in here of getting the different
Yeah, I just
amount.
made that for fun. I don't read too far into those ones. There's no guarantee that it's going to come like that. Those will likely be the kind of things that happen in the supply packs when we sell those when we're live.
Those are what get airdropped to all of the uh, founders token holders, right?
Actually, it'll be the blueprint packs. The blueprint packs are the much more valuable ones with all the blueprint or all the buildings inside. They're capable of.
I'm more excited now.
Yeah, for sure. It's basically like a pack a week for a year, which I'm super excited about. I have founders tokens myself. I'm eagerly awaiting to have pack day every week to celebrate. And one of the things we want to put in after launch is to make it so that when you open a pack in the game, it'll also announce to all the other players if you got like a legendary or a mythic or something like that, so that everyone can sort of be all jealous of what you got when you're opening something.
That's awesome. I think that'll be super cool because that's one of the coolest things about like the blockchain. I think is, I mean, you don't even need to make the announcement. Most of the time, somebody's on the blockchain waiting for those to pop up, and
For sure.
somebody
Yeah,
can just
I like the idea of being able to broadcast FOMO.
yeah. How is it gonna? Is it gonna be like a notification or like?
Yeah, it'll likely be something that appears like over the top of the screen or something like that. That's our goal. We want to put in a lot more layers of communication inside of the game. There's no reason we can't have chat. We can't have we'll have our soundtrack playing in the background, and you'll be able to have a music player at some point as well. We certainly want to bring in the full game experience as we get closer to launch.
That's awesome. I'm just trying to get the most out of my power cells by putting them all into the buildings and then getting them started early on recharging.
Yep. Yeah, I expect there's going to be an entirely separate like supply and demand economy for just power cells, and people that just build land for filling up with solar panels and just trying to min max the value on just that marketplace on its own, because it's needed for literally everything. And I can't wait to see what players do in trying to like exploit that economy to whatever extent they're able to.
The issue is if you focus too hard on exploiting that, you're going to have to hire so many tasks because you're not going to have the energy from like, the land and stuff, or from like the greenhouses.
Yeah, when you have a completely player-driven economy and every single item in the game is has utility, so there is no room for speculation. It's literally like this stuff all matters to every player in the game. I feel that the market itself will feel so much more healthier. It will be just much more organic in the sense that people are buying for needs and maybe for some strategic elements, but I really want to make sure that there's as little room for speculation as possible. I want it to just really matter to the experience of the game and the players.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm just thinking like through what I could do with this land, and honestly, I'm going to stack the solar panels and hope that I get to combine them. I'm very excited for this game. This is going to be very addicting.
Yeah, we hope it's a really engaging experience that people can play every day, multiple times a day. So the way it's designed now, your food you're able to eat like every 4 to 6 hours. I think it's 4 hours right now. It might go up to 6 by the time we're live. But we're really intent on not trying to dominate or monopolize a ton of your time every day. We don't want this game to be your job in a traditional sense. I mean, people might play. We certainly we really want it to be a play to earn experience that players get value out of, but we want to be respectful of people's time. And the game itself there's going to be plenty to do and lots of fun to have without requiring a ton of time investment.
Yeah. I have another question. Will I be able to click this to go to my land?
Yes, 100%. Yes,
Okay.
It's near the top of our list. Those quickly take you to where your land is, because getting back to it right now is really frustrating. I agree. every bit of friction that that you're feeling, I feel 100-fold for every one of our players that are like, "Have you thought of this?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I feel it."
I'm pretty like
Definitely.
content with the fact that it's hard to get to it because it makes those centralized ones a lot more valuable for like being right where you spawn in. But yeah, it would definitely be nice to be able to, because then there's still other parts of the game that like I'll have to go navigate to a different land that I don't own.
Yep.
And yeah, that like you playing the game and like the headaches that could happen because you played as well,
Absolutely.
which I think is definitely healthy for the development.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. We want very much. We have a big update planned that's coming to improve the user interface of the game overall, to add a much increased level of visual polish. There'll be some bigger improvements to come for sure.
Oh yeah, like I'm out of stamina now. So if I want to recharge the rest of my batteries, I have to wait 4 hours or online. I'd have to pay
Yeah,
somebody.
you'll eventually be able to hire more people. We just got a few more weeks to come, and that's something that we've been very intentional about. Is really we do have a founders coin sale right now going on, and we're running that through for at least until the middle of this month. Although if everything goes well, if our whitelisting happens, it's likely we may actually extend the sale date a little bit further to give more people a chance to get into the game, since we're finally reaching a bigger audience and finally getting the kind of traction that we're hoping for. But aside from that, we really want to finish building a comprehensive game experience before we really open up sales, any further.
Yeah, that makes sense. Speaking of the founders token, want to run through that with me? And here, I'm going to put this in the chat before we go through it. I clicked out of it. Sorry.
Sure. So if it looks a little confusing, I apologize. I try to add a lot of value in here is really what the goal is. So when you buy the coin, it starts off really as just a proof of purchase for getting the actual founders pack of the game, which you get when the game goes live. And for everything that you get with the founders pack, with the exception of the access badge, you get those for every founders coin you have. So for us, that have if you're crazy and have more than one of these because you're really hyper passionate about this, and I'm not necessarily saying anyone has to be this way. You know, one is it's designed to be a good value. You get a founder's token, which is actually the tradable version of this, which gives you a pack a week for a year, airdrop to the founder's token holder, and that will be a blueprint pack, and you get one for every token you have. And that'll start off with our blueprint packs, which will contain buildings, and then eventually it'll maybe be replaced with tool blueprints when we launch our tool system, and it'll be different. It may evolve into other blueprints as we build out new systems of the game, but the intent is to always be a similar type of value. In addition to that, you get the Founders Land Pack, which comes with 6 plots of land, and each of those each of those plots also come with 5 common building blueprints. So you get just a baseline of sort of buildings that you can put on your land, or you could sell those blueprints if you want. You kind of get your own choice to whatever you want to do. And then you also get a copy of the soundtrack, which is a 1-hour soundtrack we had produced for the game, which was produced by Matt Gilmore, who's the son of David Gilmour, who's the lead singer of Pink Floyd.
It's awesome.
So it's like a really legit, original soundtrack of the game. We also sell the soundtrack right now. You can buy it on NFT blocks. If you have the NFTs, you're able to stream, create content. You get a lot of rights to do whatever you want with our music if you own the NFTs in your wallet.
I'll pull that into the chat real quick as well. I think these are pretty cool. I haven't listened to mine. It's a good reminder that I need to go listen to that. But I'm definitely more excited to go listen to it now. That I had no idea who had made it.
Yeah.
I also didn't know it was an hour long. I kind of want to just play that whenever I play the game. Will there be a way if I own the NFT to turn it on in the game?
Oh, definitely. So what we plan to do is as early as possible, we'll have a base level sort of music player in the game that just loops our soundtrack, and you'll be able to listen to it. And then eventually after launch, we'll replace this with a much more intelligent music player that actually plays the music NFTs from your wallet, and it also play the music NFTs from other collections if you have them from like Yoshi Drops or from Kate Music or things like that. We want to not just embrace the single NFTs that we have. We want to really support everything that's involved in this entire Wax ecosystem. So that's our sort of longer term ambition, is to make it work for all of your music NFTs. That's
super cool, because that'd be so cool if a whole bunch of NFT games started doing that. Because
absolutely,
it would edge out something like Spotify, because I could just find my music, and then if I wanted to play it while I game, it could just be integrated into the game.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we want to offer more opportunities for players to sort of connect their wallets and the metaverses that they're part of in every way possible. So another way we might be able to do this in the future is to allow players to connect to their MetaMask. And if you have a profile picture project like a Bored Ape or a CryptoPunk or one of those other MetaMask or Ethereum sort of profile projects, you could have that as your actual profile picture inside of LandRush.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we've had a lot of interest from players that collect NFTs on lots of different blockchains, and they want ways to sort of connect everything. And I don't see any reason why we wouldn't want to embrace that.
Yeah, I feel like the reason would be because it takes work, but
yeah, but if we call ourselves a metaverse and we're not actually connecting things, we're not really doing our job.
Yeah,
so it's something, and we're hopeful to be an early adopter to be able to do these kind of things. I think it could be really exciting and I expect it's like we're going to see this everywhere. Twitter is already doing this. Facebook is likely to follow with Instagram. I think we'll see more and more social networks embracing NFTs.
Yeah. And yeah, because I think this is what you just said, but like the Twitter profile, yeah, that'll be really cool to see everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Especially if something like that, like on phones where you can like set your like contact photo. If you could do that with like integrating NFTs directly into that, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I would expect that we're going to see NFTs take over everything. It'll be just common everywhere. I would be legitimately surprised if they don't just become the word that you get tired of hearing in a year from now, for sure.
I mean, to
But
me,
then,
like every single thing inside of my wallet could be replaced with something in crypto. Whether an
Mhm.
FT or an NFT, it could be replaced with crypto.
Sure, absolutely. That's why people use the phrase like crypto is going to eat the world, and like it's because it will. It will. The notion of a distributed ledger, of a sort of authoritative source of truth that is decentralized from a outside sort of impact, is that fundamental thing that's needed in so many parts of the world.
Yeah. Um, there's a white paper, right? I'm trying to think of where.
There absolutely is. So if you click on the LandRush link, scroll down just a little bit more and go to the main website for LandRush. In the top right is a link to our white paper.
I did not realize these are different sites.
Yep. The main.com really just explains about the two games, links to the Steam page and then the LandRush page. So LandRush is the .io version, and then our full white paper is linked on there.
There was something in here I wanted to ask a question about. I'm just trying to find it. While we're on the white paper, what do you think is the like coolest or most innovative part of the white paper?
Um, well, that we have one is a good start. I think some. I'm just kidding. Um, for me, the things that I'm most passionate about in what the white paper speaks to are largely on the very first page. Are specifically like towards the bottom half of the front page, where we speak to our mission and where we think this game can go. Like a lot of people sort of, I don't know. I get feedback from people who don't really believe what I talk about when I say that I want to like actually like have a serious impact on the lives of people, that I want to build an experience that really like matters and that can actually like mean something in the world. But like it's been on the front page since the very beginning, and I always sort of point to this and be like, this has been here from day one. This isn't something new, and I'm not just sort of speaking out of thin air. Like we are a mission driven company, and all of our projects and all of our sort of leaders in the company all have a very mission oriented view on these things, and LandRush is no difference rather. And beyond the front page, I think the frequently asked questions does a really good job of just breaking down. That's near the top of the page, near the top of the list is the FAQ. This is designed specifically to answer just the most common questions and really break down just bullet by bullet what are the important parts that you need to know about. Like, what does land development mean in our game? What does a player driven economy mean? What is the notion of like specialization, and how will this matter in the future? And then like actually how do players play to earn, and what are the actual aspects of like this player driven economy, and how do those all sort of tie in together? And then of course this more specifics about like what are we using that are what are our tokens, what are our NFTs, and sort of what's on the chain and what's not, and things like that.
So in the beta, do I have like a skill for when I'm
Not currently, but after launch we will have a skill system that will progress and advance. We very much want players to be able to not just have their stamina go into doing specific actions, but actually have that as an investment in their own character development and progression, so that you can advance your scavenging skills or your mining skills when we launch the mining system, or your processing or your farming skills or your cooking skills when we launch a cooking system, and you make food that gives you better effects than just the space level food that you're farming. So we want to
and then
build a
people
thriving economy.
would you be able to use that skill on somebody else's land or like
Yeah, and someone else might need you to do specific skills that they're trying to do. So they might have a greenhouse. They might have like a processing facility that requires like someone with level 5, refining skills or something like that in order to refine a specific alloy or a specific type of metal. And so that is something that, and if the player themselves that owns the land doesn't have those skills, they're going to have to hire another player if they're trying to build something that they're trying to have crafted. And we want that to really matter. We want players to have a specialization and to have real progression that matters in this economy.
It'll be interesting because, like, I feel like there may be parts in the game where something unlocks and like nobody's maybe like enhanced that skill far enough. So the first people that just start going to town on that skill are really going to be able to like
Monopolize the
yeah,
economy. Yep.
basically, yeah.
That is 100% what I envision and hope will happen. And my hope is to build faster than players can reach. Like, I want to stay ahead as fast as I can. And we're designing systems that are really, really quick to build and are very data driven so that I can stand up entirely new systems of crafting faster than players can progress through them. And we can quickly adapt and sort of build in more depth over time. That's something that we very much want. And we're not only going to let players be able to like invest their energy, their stamina, and all these different specializations, but there'll be certain paths where you can only have one type of specialization. So eventually, we'll have crafting guilds where you can join like a constructor's crafting guild where you can actually mint your own blueprint NFTs, and you mint them as packs yourself instead of the ones that we're selling. And so
That's cool. So like
you'll be
you
able to
collect
mint
and mint it and sell it.
correct. You'll be able to specialize and mint your own pack yourself and then sell it on Atomic Hub or Open Up yourself. And you'll use in-game resources for doing that, and you won't have to buy them. And when we eventually allow this to happen, when we let players craft the packs, we'll stop selling the packs altogether, and they'll only be able to be made by players. And this is an important part of our game economy, is that we want it to be truly player driven. So once players are given the ability to craft the packs, we will stop selling them.
That'll totally be like a snowball effect. I feel like once like floodgates will open for that. That's going to be really cool to see.
Yeah, we want players to be in control of the supply and demand. Our intent is to set the initial supplies for things, to set it up so that players have the necessary pieces to succeed, to build the sort of player base. And the initial blueprints that we sell, the one clear distinction for those over other game or the other sort of player driven stuff is that these are sort of the Genesis or the sort of the V1 blueprints. These will last forever and will never degrade or require repairing. Once players are able to actually mint their own items and mint their own blueprints, those items all are part of a system that requires them to be maintained and repaired over time, so that there's another aspect of the player driven economy. So not only are the players able to make the items, but they also have to be the ones to repair them. So there's always going to be an ongoing need for the players to help repair the things that are degrading, except for the ones that have been sold in packs originally by us.
And like there will be a reason, I feel like, for that guild to bring in just a ton more people, even if they have no idea what they're doing. Their stamina is important. So
absolutely, that's the entire point of this game, is to make the most basic functions still always matter, because as the game grows, as more people come in, that doesn't make the need for food and water any less. It just increases the need every single day for the amount of food and water that has to be grown and produced by somebody. And
one thing I feel like that does kind of encourage bots to an extent. Do y'all have plans for handling that?
Yeah, it costs $10 to play the game. That's the first level. So if you're going to spin up a lot of accounts, it's going to be very expensive to try to get in, and there won't be nearly enough value out of the gate, I think, to balance that sort of experience out. Beyond that, we certainly are we're experienced game makers, and we're used to people that are trying to exploit the systems or cheat or create an unfair advantage, and we're mindful of that from the get-go in the way that we've designed the economy and the structures in the game. But if unruly actors or bad behavior is present in the game, we're very well prepared to address that. And in a longer term view, we want to incentivize and reward players that are willing to prove that they're humans. But I won't go too deep into sort of what our plans are on that yet, but it's something that we are very much mindful of. We want real people playing the game, and we care very much about making sure that players are rewarded for proving that they're real people. We think that that's something that's going to matter a lot in the future across all blockchain games, not just ours.
Will my stamina in the game level up with me as I progress? Like, will I get more and more stamina, or is that always 17?
It's currently fixed, but there will be potentially ways to get more production per day in the future. We just haven't. We want to start with a relative amount of scarcity so that there's a demand for more people to get in the game. Basically, we want landowners or other people to be inviting more people into the game to help them than just sort of telling their friends to level up and grind more. We want there to be sort of a balance, but long term, certainly there will be ways to increase your progression and increase your production each day and what you can do.
Okay. I missed this question from Crypto Vet. He's asking if he can build a weed farm on Mars. We're all
That
gonna
is
add
a
that to the router.
we are not opposed to that at all. Hemp as a resource, not just marijuana, but hemp which is the other side of the plant, has an amazing abundance of utilizations and utility as a textile, as in for things like rope and other types of products. So I don't think it's impossible that we could figure out ways in which players could, utilize this in our greenhouse system. And I would be remiss if I didn't have a little bit of a throwback to the games that I used to work on professionally, before I moved into the play to earn space. I used to work on a weed growing mobile game. So I think weed and hemp are going to be a really common thing in space. If you've read any sort of books that actually talk about the future on Mars, many of them actually talk about this same kind of subject. They talk about cryptocurrency driven economies and goods and services that are abundant and easy to produce in a limited amount of resource environment. When certainly the hemp and the cannabis plants fit those criteria.
Yeah, like it's making me think. I'm kind of surprised that like in anything that I've read about like surviving in space, which is primarily just The Martian. Um, like I haven't seen much about them using hemp, but it seems like it would be one of the best things to bring other than stuff that you eat.
Yeah, it's there's a concern, I guess, about the amount of oxygen you're consuming if you're smoking on Mars, but I think that it's going to
Yes.
be hard to ignore the viability of what it can do, and you know in the future.
Interesting. Like if they go into like a smoke room that has like extra oxygen so that you aren't like
For sure.
wasting on. You have to fill it with a power cell to be able to go in there and smoke.
Yeah, I mean, we want to make sure that we create a really really fun experience. We're certainly not going to go as we're not going to lean too hard into the realism thing. So if it fits in an experience that makes it really fun and enjoyable, we're not opposed. We really want this to be a community driven game experience that everyone is feels a part of. We in a way we want to build like culture inside of this game. We want people to contribute into this experience in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I'm just reading the chat. It's
That's
funny.
hilarious.
I feel like the hemp could be a stamina boost. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. It might
Like,
make you. It might require your energy to take a little bit longer to recover afterwards, though.
yeah.
Might have a bit of a hangover effect.
Next day, your character's just slept.
That's right. Or yeah, you might need to eat a lot more food actively once you have it. Exactly. Exactly.
I was gonna ask if there's gonna be like any sort of scholarship system, but like it, I feel like it doesn't even make sense with how player focused it is on like you're already playing players to come and build on your properties and play on them.
So
Um,
there is a
okay.
couple of things that would sort of qualify under this. So I watch very closely the kind of sort of metas and things that are happening in different aspects of the play to earn communities and in the blockchain space. And so with the idea of scholars, I think some of that relationship and how that entire situation is structured is a little bit upside down. So personally, I feel like as someone that has a set of axes or as a scholar team, you're effectively lending them out to someone, which is a high risk value, and you're giving up 60 or 70% of the actual value that they are able to earn from that loan of those teams. Whereas I think in Land Rush, my goal is much more putting the power back in the power of both the landowners and the players themselves. So landowners will have the ability to set, after launch, landowners will have the ability to set how much of the resources on their land that can be scavenged will be shared with the player that is scavenging. So this is sort of the ability to set your own sort of 70-30 split effectively, and the landowner just passively will be able to earn resources from players that are scavenging if it's desirable enough.
Can I
I
have
think
it set where like somebody can only scavenge on my land if they complete a task for me, and then have
that
it where they get like all of the resources when they scavenge?
it's unlikely we may do that. We're certainly considering the ability for players to have a whitelist or a subset of like names of players that are able to only scavenge on their land, and then work within a set ratio for that. So you'd have sort of like a private scavenging. But we're trying to balance this in a way that doesn't allow for a ton of exploitation and bad behavior. We want to sort of
Yeah.
there's it's a double-sided sword here, right? Like if you have a group of people that you're trying to actively help and provide value for, then giving them a high percentage return is a worthwhile thing because you want them to really be the ones to get it. But if you're trying to do it publicly, then it just gets taken away and you don't really know who's getting it, which doesn't feel great. But by allowing people to have this freedom to set private lists, you are encouraging people to do things like making multiple accounts and trying to like funnel things. And those are things we don't want to happen, obviously. So we have to sort of draw a balance. And
Accounts with 3 lands, and then like all 3 are whitelisted on each other, and just like
right.
one day I do this account, and the next day I do this. Yeah.
Exactly. And so we want there to be a fair balance. We care very much about players playing on just one account, not multi-accounting in this game. And the ability to do things like, mint access badges to invite other players, the ability to create a whitelist for private players, those will be treated as sort of privileges, not inalienable rights inside of the game, which is like to say that there are things that you will be allowed to do as long as you are not doing bad things, and then the ability to do that will go away if you are doing bad things. And that's sort of it's going to largely be a philosophy we try to maintain, is like we're going to start with encouraging positive behavior among the community, encourage everyone to be pretty transparent about what's happening, and if we see things that are not kosher that's going on, then we'll make decisions and be pretty clear about our intent and the way that we're going to deal with them.
Would y'all like ban people from the game, or just restrict them to like a lower stage of the game, I guess, or ability in the game?
It's hard to say what our final terms and policies are going to be. We're not going to do things like when it comes to like specific assets and resources that are in your wallets. If you have them, you have them. Those are not in our. We wouldn't elect to freeze your assets that are in your wallet or prevent them from being sold on another marketplace. But if you have things that are internal within our system, for example, so if you've earned Dusk and you have not withdrawn it to your wallet and you are violating our terms of service, you give up the rights. If you have virtualized items within your player wallet that haven't been minted out, or things that are sort of inside of the game economy, and you break rules, like those you don't get those back. Like there are certain things that would be sort of locked or sort of, I don't want to say seized, but things that are just locked basically from use. But that's not something that I really am too worried about right away. We're really intent on building a really great game experience more than anything else, and we feel pretty confident that the entry point for the game will prevent a lot of bad behavior for quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, usually like $1 is enough to stop like mass scale botting. So I feel like 10 will definitely get the job done on that. How is that? So like, will I buy an access pass, or am I buying like the game on the web version? Like how would buying that $10 work?
Yeah, so the way that it's designed at launch will be that the access pass basically is just $10. It gets you into the game, and then you're able to earn your stamina every day. So if you were to be banned in the game, we would base, and the access pass, once you make your account, is a non-transferable token. It's basically like it's your membership card or whatever. That's if you were to like be banned, that would be the thing that basically is like updated to say like, you violated our terms, like your account is gone. Like that's really sort of how it's designed.
Okay. And then yes, I was about to ask if it'll end up on secondary, but non-transferable. So no.
Yep. We're pretty clear about which things are transferable and are not. So like with our actual Founders Coin, it acts as an access badge right now. It's not transferable. We're that's really just your proof of purchase. It's a novelty sort of thing where even if you get when you get the actual founders pack with the real founders token, which is a much cooler 3D rotating NFT, that you can sell. You'll have resale with it. You'll be able to trade it. All the things that you actually get airdropped are fully tradable. But we don't want to pump up a resale market for our game in any way when we don't have an actual game to play right now. So that's why everything is effectively locked down as non-transferable out of the gate. Is we want people that care about helping us play test or helping us build this great game until we're live. And then once we're live, then we'll have packs for sale. Then we'll have everything else that's ready to go. And that's been our commitment from day one, is like to not sell anything without a game. This sale on Nifty Blocks, technically, same day as when the game went live. We were about 3 hours late. The sale was live, and then it took us about 3 hours to get a couple things fixed that when we went live we weren't ready for. But it was certainly the day of the sale. We had a game that was as playable as it is today for sure. And we've been updating and communicating on this multiple times a week. We have a Substack that we update on, and we post new updates to. We call it Duskworks Digest, and that updates on all the improvements to the balance in the game as we're working on it.
So I think I missed this earlier. So the founder's badge says limit 1 per account. So will that not stack through multiple?
That's the one thing that doesn't stack. The founder's access badge it's like your membership badge as if you would have it normally. And the only real thing that gets you is the ability to invite 3 players to the game every month. You basically can mint out invites, every month. That's something that we wanted to sort of restrict to the actual players that are joining us as founders, and not specifically the not just be tied to the founders token pack minting side of things.
And then this is going to be the spinning one, the one that gets to drop the pack.
Oh yeah,
I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see what these packs look like.
Yeah, that actually uses old art. The stuff that's in the game, the white ones are what they look like now. That's the actual. We have like nice, clear looking animations as well for all the pack openings. That stuff is all ready to go when the game goes live. So there'll be an actual nice experience when you open up the packs. It's not.
Will they be the same color or be like a different pack?
It'll look very similar. These are pretty much everything that's in the game right now are using real assets. Most of our user interface is relatively sort of placeholder and being iterated on. But almost all of the really that's cool. An older version. Yeah, that's an older version. I think technically, yeah, the whiter one is the newest. But yeah, our goal is we wanted to get all the art done first, which is why we prepared for all the NFTs that we're going to be building. So that's why the interface is still being cut up.
Awesome. I think I've asked. I feel like there's going to be more questions because I still don't fully. I haven't done everything. But want to move on to giving away some access to the beta.
Absolutely.
Okay. Have you played Grubfish or seen it before?
I don't think I have. I am eager to see and learn.
Basically, it's the Grubfish, which are I guess I'd call them worms, are trying to get around the map, and they have like different commands that players can use to dodge like spike wheels that come through the map. And then last one standing wins. And then to enter, all I have to do is, exclamation point play, and then their Wax wallet address.
Nice. Can we get some access? And I should say the access badges that we're minting out are going to be basically the same ones as if you were to buy the game when we're live. So if you have it now, you won't need to buy the game when we go live. You'll be able to play right on day one.
Just from, because it is the access, right?
Absolutely. It's the same one. Yep. Yeah, the only difference is you won't. The founders will be able to mint tradable versions that sort of get redeemed when the player creates an account.
Oh, so like, would I be able to sell my 3 once I start getting those?
You can do whatever you want with them.
I like that. I will sell them.
You can give them away. You can sell
Yeah,
them. You can, we're going to always be selling them for $10. So we expect that players will undercut us. We expect that they're going to bring the price point down, in secondary markets, and they're perfectly welcome to do that. We will
yeah.
maintain relative
If
price
anything,
floors
will
for
be
them.
like a like community based game discount. Like it'll
Yeah,
be interesting to
absolutely.
see if like for major events people try to like get liquid wax like or get more liquid, and so you start seeing like basically a discount on the game. Um,
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna be
but if you,
giving away a lot of them as well. Like it's not designed specifically as a way for us to make money. It's designed specifically to make the price point for automated play a lot higher. And we really wanted like to make that discouraged. So if you're hanging out in our Discord, if you're in communities that we're promoting in and you want to play, it should not be hard to get a copy or to get a badge and to get into the game. We want to make it really accessible to people.
is it possible to like whitelist a badge on lands instead of a wallet address, so that way like I could just tell everybody that like if I did give away the three every week, I could like just whoever it gets sent to, they already are whitelisted on the lands.
That's a really neat idea. We haven't thought about that yet, but it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility. It might be such that we give landowners the ability to mint out there a different type of like scavenging badge or token or something that they can give to players to redeem.
Yeah,
Haven't really
exactly.
thought too much about that. That's kind of neat.
Because that would be cool to like. I mean, you're kind of like encouraging them, like I'm giving this to you, and it would be awesome if you use some of your starting
Yeah.
extra. Because I feel like when you're starting out, there's definitely leftover energy, but as you progress, there's not going to be any.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
it's gonna be. That's the entire intent is that you should like feel that. Yeah, you should feel that pinch in a way, I guess, of like needing a lot more stamina every day and needing and wanting to do more, basically.
I already feel that, and I really don't feel like I have like a massive amount in the beta, but like I'm like if somebody built a full sort of guild, that would just require so much energy to develop all of that.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see how
And I
everyone
like
tries to
like
maximize
pay
that.
to win sort of like it's pay to win, but I'm paying the other players, not paying y'all.
Yeah, you gotta. It doesn't work the same way as traditional games where you can try to just sort of buy and manipulate a market. The only way in which you can sort of quote unquote whale in this game is by also paying and having and helping a ton of other players. And to be honest, like that's actually what we want. We want people to help as many people as possible inside of this game, and we don't just incentivize it by the like core design. We reinforce it by the play to earn economy. So the way that it'll work is every time you create one of these work orders where you're hiring another player to do something, a percentage of the amount of dusk that you're paying will be taken out as a small fee and put into the treasury. And every week we'll redistribute a percentage of our treasury back to the landowners that created the work for the most amount of people every week. So if you are actually hiring and helping a lot of people, you actually get rewarded for doing so for helping the most amount of people every week.
That's really cool. So sort of like a like proof of building like redistribution.
Yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
I don't even know what to call it. It's like proof of community or something because it's really about like
Yeah, it's not a
helping
matter
as
of like
many
putting
people.
a mark on your land. It's yeah, like
Yeah.
that's really cool. It makes me almost think like maybe I'll then sell my energy to buy more energy.
Yeah, it's I don't know what people are going to do. It's going to get really really interesting. But I think the having high confidence that it's real people that are participating in this game economy is I think the part that's going to make it really interesting, and we really want to like go out of our way to not only like show that it's real people playing the game but also to like tell the stories of all the people that are playing our games as well, and we really want to like really connect with everyone that's in this community.
All right, I'm gonna start this giveaway. I think
Awesome.
you got enough people. Oh, I totally forgot to enter. I won't blow people up this time. So yeah, as the streamer, I can, I guess anybody can blow themselves up, but I don't see how anybody other than the streamer would blow themselves up. I can enter the game and then type in a command to blow myself up and try to take out other people with me.
Neat. I love these streamer-driven games. I think they're so neat. It's between like, I've seen a lot of people do the marbles on stream. I have not seen this one, but this is super cool.
I like marbles on stream. I just feel like this is like, it's quick. It all fits in one screen, so I don't have to move anything, or like my hands don't have to do anything all game. So it's easy for me, and like I can do it cross chain super easily. Like I don't have to DM people after, because you could put pretty much anything after the play as long as there's no spaces, and it'll capture all of it and keep it in the like leaderboard that I get to copy afterward.
Nice.
It's definitely designed well to like take all of the work out of doing a giveaway, which I think makes it a lot more like I'm much happier doing them when it's not that marbles is like a strain, but this is definitely easier.
Yeah. I'll give, let's see how many we have, 16 people that entered. I'll give access to the top 10 and soundtracks to the top 5 as well. How about that?
That works. We could also do a dance off for the music.
Whatever you want. I'm happy to, we can start with just accesses and we can do another thing for soundtracks if you want.
Yeah, so we could do, are you good with that? Access is on this one, and then the next one, oh, Crypto Vested, nice, top 10, use 15. Thing. Yeah, and then the dance off for the soundtracks. And
Sure.
I actually, so we could do 10 and 10, because I'll give soundtracks from the giveaway wallet for 6 through 10 of
Sounds
the
great.
dance off.
Yeah, I'll give another 5, no problem.
I'm gonna feel bad for whoever comes in the bottom 6 on both.
I'm sure if you're in the bottom, if you find me on Discord and DM me, I can help you with an access badge. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. We don't want to make it that hard.
Let's see if anyone's been taken out yet. I think we're good so far.
This is so funny. See, you just need this, but it needs to be like NFT avatars, right? Like then it's your little NFT avatar dancing.
That would be super cool. If like, yeah, if you could integrate your own NFTs into this game.
Everything will be NFT'd in the future. Everything.
Yeah. I mean, it just makes more sense, honestly. Like, that was like the biggest reason for me is getting into like just NFTs in general was I just gaming over the years. I would like I want to get money back after putting hours and hours and hours into a game, and it would be so frustrating to have to like go through all this red tape to be able to sell something of them saying like no,
only to have your account banned or something because you were trying to break their terms. And yeah, I completely agree. It's the inevitable future that everyone will want to own their digital assets and their items that they put their time and money into.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm trying to think of like a game. I just can't think of the name. Never mind.
What, that you invested a ton of money in and feel like you never got a return on?
No, just a game that I played a whole bunch, but I ended up getting banned because like the very first time I tried to sell something, I got banned, and I was so frustrated because I was like, I knew I shouldn't have done it. I knew I was gonna get banned, but I just was so annoyed at putting like days at a time into this game and getting nothing out of it.
Sure. You tell the tale of many thousands of RuneScape players, that's for sure.
Yeah, I used to use RuneScape to buy Rocket League items.
There you go. Oh, you play Rocket League as well? What division are you in?
The highest I got was champ, but I'm usually like diamond.
Right on. Yeah, I'm diamond 2-ish, diamond 3-ish.
Yeah, that's where like I usually live. But every once in a while, if I'm having a good game or like been playing with friends lately, then maybe I'll get to champ.
For sure. Yeah, I feel the same way. People
I
always
feel
just make fun
like
of me
it's
as a
champ, I
boomer.
just get so frustrated.
Yep.
What were you saying,
Yeah.
sir?
I would say people will always make fun of me because I look like such a boomer in this game because I've got a I was been in since the beginning and I have like 3,500 hours played, but I've never gotten past champ. So I'm just like perpetually stuck in this ceiling, but I don't ever complain. I'm stoked to be able to even play in any kind of up middle division in this game competitively for my age.
Yeah, I feel like if they would just wipe the ranks again, that would stop happening. Because like the reason you're so stuck there is because you have so many hours played at that stage.
Oh yeah. Well, they did a
Um,
reset the most recent season, but I just think that the
they
the
did like
move
a
to
soft reset.
yeah, the move
If
to
you
free to
follow-
play has had a challenging ripple for their game community.
yeah.
When there's no
Um,
consequence for playing a game, people are not incentivized to play nicely. And that also fits within our own philosophies about why the game costs $10 to play is similar that like if it costs money and you're getting your ability to play removed, like there's a consequence for those sort of actions and people take it more seriously.
I was missing the. Uh, oh, so they did reset our Rocket League stats. I don't think they reset like your what's like the back end
The
score that they
career
use. What?
the career stats, I think they call it,
No, they have
for
like
Rocket League.
I forget what it's called, but it's basically like your rank in the game as a player that they keep track of.
Oh, the
Um,
MMR.
yeah, MMR. That's what it's called.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
matchmaking rating.
was that? I don't think that's been like fully hard reset.
No, they have
Like,
not hard reset MMR. No.
yeah, that's what they need to do in Rocket League. I think that would really
Mhm.
help the game a lot.
Yeah, that would be an interesting, with this many players, that would be really interesting to sort of like resettle things.
Yeah, it would
Would
definitely
be
get
really
like
technical.
annoying for a lot of people at first, but I don't know. It would resettle a lot of like because I'll get into matches in champ where I feel like I'm playing against silvers, and then I'll have a match where like I'm playing against somebody who this is all they do all day.
Yep.
It's very frustrating. Anyway, yeah, sorry for chatting your ear off, Baragli.
No,
Uh,
I love talking about everything games related, everything play to earn. Like I will waste your time as much as as you allow me to as well. Like this is I
yeah,
am a legitimate gamer as much as I am a game maker.
that's awesome. All right, well, I feel bad I've kept you a lot over the hour that I told you. Thank you for coming on though, and
My
thank you
pleasure.
everyone for showing up. Do you have anything you want to say for the audience before you go?
Yeah, check out our website. It's milliononmars.io. Feel free to check out the white paper. Feel free to come on Discord, grill me with all the questions you have about our game and what we're building. I'm a pretty open book, and very, very accessible on our Discord. We're still running our founders token sale through October 15th. There's a good chance we might open it up a little bit longer just to give everyone else a chance to get in. So look for an announcement there. And with any luck, you should see us get a nice little check mark on our account in the near future. We're working real hard to get everyone at Atomic Hub to support us as much as the rest of the community on Wax is already, with all the love that they've already been giving us. And we're going to be here for a long time building up this game and really growing a legitimate play to earn experience on this blockchain for as many people as we possibly can.
It's awesome. I'm really excited for the game.
Us as well.
All right. Yeah, thanks for coming on and have a good one.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.